What if I told you there's a planet in our solar system that no human has ever seen? It sounds unbelievable, but the evidence is strong enough that many astronomers believe it's really out there. So, welcome to David Planetborough. Today, we're exploring one of the greatest mysteries in modern astronomy, a hidden world that may be orbiting far beyond Neptune, so distant that even our most powerful telescopes have never captured it. Yet somehow, scientists are remarkably confident it exists. The real question is, how do you discover a planet you've never actually seen? The discovery of Uranus. The story begins in 1781. A British astronomer named William Herschel was searching the night sky for comets when he noticed something unusual. At first, it looked like just another faint object. But it wasn't. It was Uranus, the seventh planet from the Sun. For years, Uranus had appeared on star charts, yet nobody realized it was a planet because it moved so slowly across the sky. That discovery was historic. But an even bigger breakthrough came afterward. As astronomers studied Uranus, they noticed its orbit wasn't behaving exactly as expected. Sometimes, it moved just a little too fast. Other times, a little too slow. In astronomy, this is called a perturbation, a tiny change in an object's motion caused by another object's gravity. Something invisible was pulling on Uranus, and instead of searching the sky, two mathematicians decided to search the equations. What they discovered proved that mathematics could find a planet before any telescope ever could. The planet found with math. Two mathematicians took on the mystery. Urbain Le Verrier in France and John Couch Adams in England worked independently, but both reached the same conclusion. Using only mathematics, they calculated where the unseen object had to be. Then came the real test. German astronomer Johann Galle pointed his telescope to the exact location predicted by their equations. Within hours, he found Neptune. It was almost exactly where the mathematics said it would be. That moment changed astronomy forever. Scientists have proven that you don't always need to see a planet to discover it. Sometimes, its gravity reveals its presence long before a telescope does. The Pluto mistake. The success of Neptune inspired astronomers to try the same method again. They noticed what seemed to be a small wobble in Neptune's orbit and believed another hidden planet was causing it. In 1930, that search led to the discovery of Pluto. At first, scientists thought the mystery had finally been solved, but it hadn't. Pluto was far too small to influence Neptune's orbit. Years later, astronomers discovered something even more surprising. Neptune's wobble wasn't real. It was simply the result of inaccurate measurements. This is known as observational bias. When you expect to find something, it's easy to believe you've found it. The 2016 breakthrough. Everything changed in 2016. Two Caltech astronomers, Mike Brown and Konstantin Batygin, were studying distant objects in the Kuiper belt when they noticed something unusual. These objects weren't scattered randomly through space. They were grouped together in long, tilted orbits, almost as if an invisible hand had been guiding them for billions of years. The deeper they looked, the stranger it became. Some objects traveled far above and below the plane of the solar system. Others even moved in directions that seemed completely unexpected. One strange orbit could be a coincidence. Several followed the same pattern, which was much harder to ignore. What Planet 9 might actually be? So, what exactly are scientists looking for? If Planet 9 exists, the evidence suggests it's a world made mostly of ice, rock, and metal. It could be at least twice Earth's size and up to 6 times Earth's mass. But what makes it truly extraordinary is its orbit. It may travel as far as 500 times the Earth-Sun distance, far beyond Neptune and even Pluto. One complete journey around the Sun could take 15,000 years. Unlike Neptune, Planet 9 is not expected to be a gas giant. Scientists believe it could be a frozen planetary core, incredibly cold, dark, and reflecting very little sunlight. At that distance, it would be almost invisible against the darkness of space. But how did it get so far away? If Planet 9 is really out there, another mystery appears. How did it get there? Scientists don't think it formed in its current orbit. The outer solar system simply didn't contain enough material to build a planet that large. That leaves two leading possibilities. The first is extraordinary. Planet 9 could be a rogue planet, formed around another star before drifting through interstellar space and eventually being captured by the Sun's gravity billions of years ago. The second is just as fascinating. It may have formed much closer to the Sun, somewhere between Saturn and Neptune, before powerful gravitational interactions threw it outward. Not fast enough to escape the solar system, just far enough to become stranded at its very edge. Why hasn't anyone seen it? So, if the evidence is so convincing, why hasn't anyone actually seen it? The answer lies in just how difficult it is to find this planet. It's unbelievably difficult to detect. Even Neptune is hard to observe with modern telescopes. Planet 9 could be more than 15 times farther away, much smaller and far darker. It reflects very little sunlight, making it almost invisible against the blackness of space. To find it, astronomers can't just point a telescope and hope. They have to photograph the same region of the sky again and again, sometimes over several years, searching for a single faint object, moving incredibly slowly. And because Planet 9 may take up to 15,000 years to complete one orbit, its movement is almost impossible to notice in a short period. There's another challenge too. Scientists must be careful not to repeat the same mistake they made with Pluto. Maybe it isn't a planet at all. Planet 9 isn't the only explanation. Some scientists believe the strange orbits in the Kuiper belt could be caused by something even stranger, a primordial black hole. This is a theoretical object that may have formed just moments after the Big Bang. It would be completely invisible, yet its gravity could still influence everything around it. Another possibility is even more surprising. What if our understanding of gravity isn't complete? Most of the equations we use to predict planetary motion are based on ideas developed by Isaac Newton more than 300 years ago. They work remarkably well, but we've never tested them at the extreme distances where Planet 9 is thought to exist. The telescope that could find the answer. For decades, astronomers searched for Planet 9 by looking at small pieces of the sky. The Vera Rubin Observatory changes that completely. It began full scientific operations in 2025 and is the most advanced survey telescope ever built. Its enormous digital camera captures the entire visible night sky every 3 days, and it will keep doing that for 10 years. Instead of searching one location at a time, it repeatedly watches almost everything. That creates a giant time-lapse of the universe. Anything that moves, a comet, an asteroid, an interstellar visitor, or a distant planet, will eventually reveal itself by changing position across thousands of images. What this discovery could mean. If Planet 9 is finally discovered, it will become the first new planet added to our solar system since Neptune was found in 1846. But this won't just be another entry in an astronomy textbook. It could completely change our understanding of how the solar system formed. Scientists may discover that the early solar system was far more chaotic than anyone imagined. And if Planet 9 isn't a planet at all, if it's a primordial black hole or something even stranger, the discovery would be just as revolutionary. For nearly 200 years, scientists have searched for a world they couldn't see, yet its gravity may have been revealing its presence all along. Whether it's Planet 9 a primordial black hole, or something that challenges our understanding of physics, one thing is certain: the greatest discoveries don't begin with answers. They begin with questions that refuse to go away. And somewhere in the sky, the answer may already be waiting for us to find it. If you enjoyed this journey, like, subscribe, and join David Planetborough. Now tell us in the comments, do you believe Planet 9 is real, or is something even stranger hiding at the edge of our solar system?